Hello, I'm TAP-G.
And I'm SurferClock.
And we're What's the Attraction?
Where
our work is your vacation.
I'd be lying if I said I was looking forward to today's review. And for once, it's not because of the poor quality of the attraction itself.
SurferClock, are you shaking right now?
Hush, TAP-G. They can't see that through the magic of podcasting.
I have never seen you this nervous for a review before.
Seriously, TMI, let's just get this thing over with.
Dude, calm down, Surfs. We all know that you don't like coasters, but let's take our time and give the audience the fair review it deserves.
Ugh, fine.
Don't forget, that means you have to ride...
I know. Please, TAP-G, don't remind me.
Do you want to save this for another day, or...?
No, we're doing it today. New year, new me. Bring it.
Can you at least speak softly? Our headphone users all seem to be hovering on the unsubscribe button.
All right. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Yes, folks, we're starting this year off with our hands up, screaming at the top of our lungs.
In fear, right?
In fun, buddy. It's time we hit what many consider to be Universal's most intimidating roller coaster, the Incredible Hulk. You first see this Colossus all the way from the I-4, usually, and it's huge. Considering it's been open since the park did in 1999, it remains one of the most popular rides in all of Universal. Located within the Islands of Adventure over at Marvel's Superhero Island, it beckons to thrill seekers, and it's often open just a little earlier than the rest of the park. You know, after all the Harry Potter stuff.
Ooh, hey, Harry Potter. I'll go get a butterbeer, and you can go ride.
No, you don't. We're doing this together. New year, new you, remember?
Sorry. Now, this coaster is based on the Marvel comic character, the Incredible Hulk. Readers got their first look at the super strong Hulk way back in 1962. The comics usually revolve around a scientist, Dr. Bruce Banner, who, much like the Hyde to his Jekyll, has a mega-powered anger-induced alter ego after being exposed to gamma radiation. He grows to several times his normal size, turns all green, which interestingly enough used to be gray, and dons a rather iconic pair of purple shorts. Also iconic is his primitive-sounding catchphrase, Hulk Smash!
And I suppose it's only fitting that you've chosen your purple pants today, huh?
What? Oh, these? A little bit of a laundry mix-up. I may have accidentally washed your Snow White dress with my best reviewer pants.
You have reviewer pants?
And you have a dress.
Point well taken. Let's move on. Before we enter the line, it's very important that we put everything, and I do mean everything, in the free lockers across from the entrance.
We've talked about the lockers for several other Universal attractions in the past, but for all the roller coasters, the big ones that need them, the policy is much more strict. If your pockets are not completely empty before boarding, you'll actually be taken out of line to put your stuff into a locker. In most cases, you'll be able to come right back up the exit, but to wait an hour just to have that happen is definitely frustrating.
No coins, no keys, no cameras, not a zilch, nothing! That means you, SurferClock.
I know, alright? Don't push it.
You are in a mood today, buddy.
Got everything in. Alright, let's go.
There's no shortage of stories to take from comic book heroes when you adapt into theme park world. You begin your high-speed adventure by going through Dr. Banner's laboratory. Throughout the lab, you hear and see the story of the Hulk and several televisions. You can tell it's a lab because of all the sciencey stuff.
More specifically, you pass by the Gamma Core and several towers of power. Thankfully, the Gamma is well contained, so wait times don't make Hulks out of everyone in line.
Who says they don't? The team members around you are Gamma technicians, and they're there to assist in Dr. Banner's research. He believes he's found a way to reverse the effects of all the gamma radiation, and he needs a few good volunteers to help him out.
That's us. Yay.
So, get this. By accelerating the rays, the effect of the radiation is supposed to reverse. As the volunteers, we board a vehicle and get strapped in. If the roars you hear throughout the park are any indication, though...
Everything looks good. I think this time it's going to work.
Really?
No?
No.
2 minutes later...
Oh, man.
Did we really just do 7 inversions?
Pulled 4 Gs.
With 30 other people.
Went up to 67 miles an hour.
108 kilometers per hour.
Do you always have to correct me?
SurferClock, buddy, you alright? Turning green.
No!
SurferClock!
Oh no!
SurferClock! Come back! Where are you? Oh, just a minute, folks.
Oh man. Note to self, save Cafe 4 just across the way until after the ride.
You gonna be alright to finish up?
Let me just sit down for a moment.
While you're getting ready, here's some other cool stuff about this unique coaster. The prototype for the launch system was being tested as early as 1995, and possible launch systems included pneumatic, hydraulic, cable, conveyor belt, and even a steam catapult propulsion system was proposed. The initial launch could have pulled as many as 5 Gs, but they settled on the drive tire system and just 1 G of launch force. The system pulls from under the train to provide that 0 to 40 in 2 seconds launch. Looks like your friend's gonna be okay.
Whew, all right, let's review.
Thank you, strangely fatherly looking school janitor.
Thwip thwip Excelsior!
So, what did we think of this intense coaster?
Whew, I can tell you one thing. Never again.
Again? Okay.
No. If this ride really has one thing going for it, and just gonna jump right on it, it's my favorite part of the ride. It's the launch tunnel.
Really?
Yeah, the launch tunnel. Because I mean, it sort of helps to put you in that participant perspective. Mm-hmm. Because in most rides, you're either a participant or you're simply an observer.
Right.
And being that participant is really what most rides should be about. Mm-hmm. That's really what's going to pull people in. And it's a nice little detail. It kind of helps to set the mood for the coaster. And honestly, that does some really good things for me. What's your favorite part of the ride?
I thought about it for a little while. At first I said the queue because I thought the best part of the ride is the build-up and then it gets you going. The launch system does most of that, but there's still some there. But then I thought about how there's that part of the track that goes underneath the walkway. That is a very unique feature you don't see in most coasters. Does it have anything to do with the story or the theming? No, but it's cool.
Actually, it's funny because this coaster's manufacturer, B&M, I think it's Bolliger and Mabilliard or something like that. But anyways, B&M. They actually do coasters like that pretty frequently. And one of the other examples in Orlando is Kraken. Mm-hmm. We will get to that at some point. But for now, let's stick with the Hulk.
Yeah.
But it is a very unique feature. It really sets it apart from a lot of other coasters. Because, I mean, honestly, it's the only coaster at Universal that kind of does that. Kind of go under, gives you that little moment of darkness. It is a pretty cool part, but, again, not my favorite part. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking a little bit about the ride itself, I have to say, the first minute or so that you're riding, I love the visuals. Mm-hmm. First of all, you get launched out of the tunnel, you see the entire park.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Going over the water, whooshing over people's heads, going through the tunnel, as you said. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. After about the first minute, though, not only does it really slow down, but you see a lot of stuff places like Disney wouldn't let you see.
The backstage areas, you mean?
Yeah, you fly through a lot of areas, and I know it's a big coaster, and you kind of have to...
come to think of it, it's a lot of the same flaws that High in the Sky Seuss Trolley train ride has. At first you take off, and then you see the lagoon, you see a lot of cool visuals, and then you turn around, and you see tops of buildings.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. But, yeah, you do. You see a lot of maybe tops of buildings, areas you probably shouldn't be able to see in. I just don't think Universal kind of has that care to keep the world separate.
Yeah.
That's kind of one thing that is going against the Hulk, but it's really a minor thing. Mm-hmm. When you think about the fact that you've just gone so fast, you probably can't even really process it.
No. For me, one of the biggest detrimental factors is the story overall. Now, here's the thing. Not every roller coaster or ride needs a story. But this is Islands of Adventure where everything is based off of existing properties and IPs. So what you have is, we're in the laboratory. We're studying for Dr. Banner. He's turning into a Hulk. And now you're flying through the air on a track.
Yeah.
There's no conclusion to the story. There's a climax, but there's no real... It's very jumbled.
It doesn't resolve. It's a little bit like Stitch's Great Escape in that way.
A little bit, yeah. and it just kind of is just like, oh, something bad happens. Well, get out of here.
Yep, same thing happens at Stitch.
Now I get it. It doesn't need a theme because, let's face it, when you're on a roller coaster as intense as the Hulk, your mind is going to be too busy going, whoa, to really slow down and think the ramifications of these plot holes. So there's that. But again, this is Islands of Adventure. It's supposed to be themed and supposed to be telling a story.
You know, if Disney did the same thing, a lot of people would be like, that roller coaster didn't have a story. Disney is a world-renowned storyteller. What's going on?
Even with something like Rock and Roller Coaster, it starts off with, hey, you're in a limo, you're going to get to the concert. And that's what happens. You get to the concert. Does the concert actually happen? No, but there is a conclusion to it. So, I mean, this is almost on par with any roller coaster you'd see at Six Flags, that they have this great roller coaster, great inversions, great speed, well built, fantastic in its concept, but it has a sticker slapped on that says, it's Batman, ride the Batman coaster.
There actually are a lot of Batman the rides and they're mostly at Six Flags parks because they have the DC license. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it suffers from a lot of that same syndrome, but I think what really sets it apart is the queue.
Yeah.
Just the queue and the build up and the launch tunnel.
A lot of use of greens and purples.
Yeah, definitely. But, that's intentional.
Well, obviously.
Yep. And I do have to say one thing about the ride system itself. It is exhilarating. I don't like roller coasters, but I do have to respect them, much in the same way you have to respect the Haunted Mansion and Dinosaur.
And the same way you respect water rides.
Yes. That's another beast altogether. But I have to say, the system here, it's if you sit on the side, it's really rough.
Yeah.
Really, really rough. You'll want to sit toward the inside if you can. It's 4 seats across, 8 rows. Try to get on the inside if you can, because it's really intense.
Use the people on either side of you as shock absorbers.
Exactly. And if the ride has another really good thing going for it, it's the perfect length. Yeah. It's just long enough to where you just start to think, why did I do this? And then it's over.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That's about how long you want it.
Exactly. So, I think all factors considered, I'm going to go ahead and give this roller coaster a 3.5 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
That's what I did too, 3.5 out of 5.
All right, so that's a 3.5 out of 5 from SurferClock and a 3.5 out of 5 from TAP-G.
Now then, this is Universal Orlando's most intense roller coaster of them all. So naturally, to ride, you must be free of heart, back, or neck problems. You must not be pregnant, and you must not suffer from motion sickness, obviously.
People in casts are not permitted to ride, and if you've had any recent surgeries, you'll want to sit this one out. Guests with prosthetic arms or legs will be asked to remove them prior to boarding, and in order to ride, these guests must still be able to grasp the shoulder restraint with one upper extremity, and both legs must either extend to the edge of the seat or terminate below the knee.
Service animals aren't permitted on the ride, and a temporary kennel is provided while you ride. Get a team member to assist you with that. For the few things in the line that need interpreting, there is closed captioning and assistive listening devices that are compatible with the televisions inside. As for the ride itself, all you'll hear is the distinct roar of the coaster, so you'll probably want to leave the device with a non-rider or store them in the free lockers outside.
The Incredible Hulk has the proud distinction of highest height requirement in the park at 54 inches tall or 137 centimeters tall. Truly the big kid ride to conquer all big kid rides. Scooters and electric convenience vehicles can't go through the line, and guests in wheelchairs will need to be able to transfer into the vehicle by themselves or with the help of another member of their party.
Universal's basic rule requirements state that you must be able to grasp the shoulder restraint with at least one upper extremity. You must independently remain upright while seated. You must be able to keep your head and shoulders upright, and you must be able to absorb the sudden and dramatic forces of a roller coaster.
Now, while I can still fit onto the coaster, the restraint may not be able to accommodate some guests due to their size or body shape. They have a test seat out front, and if you have any doubts about whether or not you'll fit, make use of it before entering the line so that if you don't fit, you don't have to spend all that whole wait in line just to not ride.
One more thing, and this is really important too. Child swap is available for those who aren't quite ready to take this on. This is a big coaster, not for the faint of heart, and honestly, there is no shame in using it. Let the team member at the front know, and even if your kids aren't big enough, do know that there is a really, really good reason why they won't be riding.
Time for recommendations. This is the biggest, baddest Universal coaster, so you teens out there who are just bored with Space Mountain, or maybe you didn't find Rip Ride Rocket enough of a challenge, this is your ride. Thrill seekers are going to love this one. And while the tie-in with Hulk is nice, you don't have to know too much about him in order to enjoy the ride. If you grew up with Cedar Point or Six Flags in your backyard and you love the smell of a B&M coaster in the morning, this is among the best of them. That's Bolliger Mabilliard, the coaster's manufacturer.
Needless to say, coaster wimps need not apply. Older folks may find it too rough, younger kids who do meet the height requirements might find it too intimidating, and those who don't like getting off a ride dizzy will want to steer clear.
If I haven't already made it abundantly clear, I am never riding this again.
And you don't have to.
Thank you. Well, that'll wrap things up. Until next time, I'm SurferClock.
And I'm TAP-G.
Thank you for listening to What's the Attraction?
Where our work is your vacation.
Now then, how about that butterbeer?
I'll tell you what, I'll buy you 2 butterbeers.
Really? Sweet!
But you gotta ride Dragon Challenge first.
Oh boy.